church who got married, or had to get married to a Polish princess. Everybody asked themselves why Poland, because in those times Poland was a huge country. It was White Russia, it was Litauen, Ukraine. There was Poland in those times. And it was ruled by King Casimir, and he had with his beautiful wife 18 children, and the youngest daughter was chosen. Her name was Hedwig, and she was the one who had to get married to George without being asked, of course. It was a complete political engagement. They didn't know each other, whatever. But this wedding was supposed to be something extraordinary. And that's why they had about 6,000 inhabitants at those times. They invited 14,000 guests. And they were truly invited. They didn't have to pay for anything, right? All the noble people of this Holy Roman Empire nationality. They didn't have to pay for food, for drinking, whatever. This wedding, after having constellation Swiss Poland, was set in October 1407. That's a very important date in this royal wedding. So all the guests came tumbling in and started eating, but the bride wasn't there. She was delayed. She came 8 days later, and in the meantime they all had been eating and drinking, right? And they were all in a very happy mood, as you can imagine. A middle-aged mood, right? So they awaited the bride, and I was really in suspense to see this exotic Polish lady. Nobody has ever seen something like that. So they awaited her down by the river and took her up in a great pageant procession, right? And this procession is shown here alongside the wall. And we do reenact this wedding every 4 years. Yes.
Where?
Here in Landshut. The Altstadt, you see.
8 days?
Pardon?
For 8 days?
No, we celebrate it for 4 weekends, end of June. Next year we...
4 weeks.
Yeah, and about 2,500 people take part in it, and they're authentically dressed, like in olden times, like those times. And everything is authentically. That was the most important part about the whole thing. And yeah, tourists from all over the world come to see that. 3 years ago, we had 780,000 visitors come to this wedding, and if you would stay till next year, you could see him, but you won't be here anymore.
And they offer also food? Is this
for nothing? No.
No, of course.
No food for nothing. But in those times. This wedding was one of the most outstanding weddings of the outgoing Middle Ages. And it cost such a lot. They wrote everything down. That's why we can reenact it so authentically. Everything they wrote down, every little detail. They know how much they ate. They know how much they drank. They know how much how they were dressed, what was talked, when they talked. Because when they met for the first time, they couldn't even speak to each other, since he didn't speak Polish, nor did she speak German. So they saw each other for the first time. She was 18. That was rather old for those times, because you got married 13, 14 years old, and he was 20. And it was, yeah, the one you see standing in front of it is Chancellor Dr. Martin Meyer, a very clever guy. By the way, George's father, George the Rich, his father was Ludwig the Rich, founded the first university. And since you're going to university in Munich, you're going to LMU, right? TU. TU? Okay. He founded the first, it's a part of it. He founded the first university, and it's called Ludwig Maximilian University. It's called after its founder, and that was his father. It was founded from here, in Ingolstadt, in the year 1472 already, before that wedding took place. And this